Hi, welcome to our Hibernate tutorial. In this video session, let us look into the one-to-many mapping, how it is happening in Hibernate. If you see here, we have two tables, department table and worker table. And we are going to relate these two tables by means of one-to-many mapping. Because within one department we may have number of workers. We are going to relate these two tables because these two tables having the same field dep ID. Forget about this index, let us talk it later. This dep ID field is the same for these two tables. You can have one-to-many mapping in the Hibernate by means of the collection list, set and bag. Let us achieve this by means of list. We are having these two persistence clauses for the database tables, and worker clause is the same. It is just having these three fields, ID, name and salary, on the setter and getter methods. And if you see this department, we are having dep ID and dep name. These two fields only we are having in the database table department. If you see here, we are having one list object. We have declared one array list which is of type worker. So by means of this list, we are going to hold the list of workers. We have provided the setters and getters for this. And the HPM file, if you see the HPM file, this is the same for the worker. And if you see the department HPM file, we have one more property, list. Within this we are having some more tags, key, index and one-to-many. Of course, this states the relationship between this department table. So we have declared this one-to-many to relate this department to the worker. And this key column is dep ID. Key column means these two tables, department and worker, will be having this dep ID key column. Forget about this, let's discuss it later. If you see cascade all, it means it will take care of persisting child objects in the database. Child objects means, let us see diagram. One department will be having n number of workers. That means we can call it department as a parent and the worker as a child. So if we save the department by means of cascade equal to all, it will take care of persisting this child object in the database. Child object means here worker. So this is it. Let us see how we can test this. In our testing class, we have opened the session. Here we are having two worker objects, two workers, worker 1 and worker 2. We are setting the values. We are setting the values ID, name, salary, and the same for worker 2, ID, name, salary, and we are taking a list of worker objects and we are adding the object to the list, first worker and second worker. We have added this to the worker list, and we have created one department object. The department table will be having one dep ID and dep name, so we are setting this and we are passing the list of these two worker objects here, and we are actually saving the department. We are just saving the department object. So by means of this cascade equal to all, it will take care of saving the workers also, worker objects also in the database. So let us run this and let us see how it's going to work. Well, it is executed. Let us make it sure in the database. Well, we got the two records. And what about the department? One Java. If you see here, this index we are having in here, this index is actually for the department. Dep ID is 1, and within this we are having dep ID 1 for the Remo and Rahul. For these two workers we are having the same dep ID. To distinguish these two workers, Hibernate is going to have one more column index which will be having unique values 0, 1. If you add one more record, if they're having the same dep ID, it will be having 2 index. So like this index column is going to be maintained for one-to-many relationship by using the list, because we know the difference between the list and the set, because our list contains the duplicate values and set it doesn't allow the duplicates. So while we are having the duplicates, to distinguish between these two, we are going to have one index. That's why we have mentioned this column index, and we named it INDX. That's why we are having it in the database INDX. So that's why we are having one index column for the list. So this is it, and let us see how we can achieve this by means of set. For using the set, we need not to have the index column for the worker, because set will be having unique records, so we need not to bother. So we're not going to have index column for worker. So that is the main difference here actually. So everything will be same. The only thing is, for the department HPM file, we're going to have property set, which will be having key, and the column name is dep ID, and these values will be having, and one-to-many, and this is also the same for list and set. Only thing is, we are not going to have the index here. And also we are having one set object, one hash set object, worker set, and we have provided the setters and getters for that. And in here we are just changing the list with the set, and remaining things will be the same. Let's run this. Okay, it is done. Let's make it sure in the database. See, we are not having the index here. These two records have been updated, have been inserted in the database table. Let's see the department. Sorry. Within the department, we are going to have one record, one Java, as we made it one Java. So this is how we can achieve one-to-many relationship by means of collections using list and set. And the main difference is we are not going to have the index for the set, and we will be maintaining the index column for the list. So this is it. Thanks for watching.